Let me stick my finger in.
Yeah.
Ooh!
Ooh.
You know you're alive.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Silvia.
And I'm Marion.
And today we're going to be tackling some really good cooking hacks.
We are too. I'm going to be answering that age-old question, can you get crispy wings in the oven? I say yes, and I'm going to be turning them into some sticky, spicy hot wings.
Sounds wonderful. And I'm going to show you how to make a classic puttanesca in the one pot. And I think you probably should get started because your chicken needs to go in the oven for a bit.
That's right. There's a couple of little tricks here that we need to do in order to get the crispiness. So first one is we want to get these as dry as possible because of course moisture is your absolute enemy when it comes to making things crisp. So onto some paper and I want to spread them out. I like to use the little drumette parts and the little wing.
I noticed that.
Little wing parts.
Those are my favorite bits actually because you really get quite a bit of flesh. And it's the brown meat, which we do love.
Yes, we do. We do. Okay, now I've got those nice and dry, and I'm going to get a clean bowl because this one has the moisture in it, so I don't want to put them back in there. The other secret ingredient here is baking powder. Now, be careful, guys, not baking soda. Okay. Baking soda will make this taste really bad, so don't use baking soda. And the baking powder is going to...
The stuff that you use for cakes.
That's right, the stuff you use for cakes. And that is going to help to dry out the skin even more. Salt is also going to do that. I want to mix that.
Because it draws out the liquid?
Draws out the liquid, and also obviously adding the flavor. So that's your preparation hack. Now, for the actual cooking part, it needs to be done in 2 stages. So we're going to go low and slow in the oven first. And what that's going to do is actually start rendering the fat that's just underneath the skin. And then we're going to crank the oven up and then get the skin really crispy. And that's the secret. So low and slow first for half an hour. And then we have the last 40 or 50 minutes until everything is really crispy.
So while the chicken is in the oven, I can get started with the puttanesca. Now, I think one-pot pasta have come under the fire a little bit, especially with some irate Italians who will say, you can't do a one-pot pasta. Well, there's ways to do it that you actually can't do it and think that you can have a good result.
So there are ways that you would get angry about.
Well, not angry. I'll just feel like... Stop it right there and just, try and get more flavor in what you're doing. You can't just empty a jar of sauce in a pot and break up spaghetti and think that you're gonna have a good result. But I'm gonna show you the way that Italians would actually do one-pot pasta. And my brother is a chef and this is his recipe. So it's completely legit.
It's Italian approved
Absolutely.
Pasta.
We call it pasta risottata, so pasta cooked like a risotto.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but I have to say one-pot pasta has got a good ring.
It does have a nice ring.
So because it all happens in the one pot, you have to be a bit organized and have everything ready. Or what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna show you a little hack to get the pips out of olives because this is puttanesca and you can't have a good puttanesca without good olives. And I think good olives need to have the pip, but then you have to remove it. You can get a little glass or a cup and squish them onto a board. And then the pip comes out, super easy. And then you've already bruised the olives, so you get all that beautiful olivey flavor. And the other ingredients that are gonna give your puttanesca the saltiness that it needs are capers and anchovies. And I know a few people can be a bit funny about anchovies and they'll say, I hate anchovies. But then they eat puttanesca and there's no puttanesca without anchovies. So that means that you don't actually taste the anchovy, but you taste that beautiful, incredible saltiness. It's like fish sauce in Asian cooking.
In Thai cooking. I get so many people that say, oh, it smells so much, but you don't smell it, you eat it. And it goes into the food and it adds an umami flavor that just pure salt doesn't add, and that's what the anchovy does as well.
Same.
Yeah.
So just go for it. And if you're cooking for someone who doesn't like anchovies, don't tell them. They'll never know. Now, extra virgin olive oil in a pan. The pan is already a little bit hot. That's about 2 tablespoons. I'm just gonna add some garlic cloves, and as always, I'm just gonna bash them to release the juices and drop them in. Now the anchovies, they need to melt in the oil. My favorite cooking hack when it comes to Italian sauces, chop the parsley stalks and add it to your oil. Capers go in too, and these are little salt bombs. The olives go in there too. And now we are going to add the pasta. And I'm using penne because, to be quite honest, I find that cooking spaghetti is actually quite tricky because unless you've got a huge pan, they don't really fit and then they get broken up, and there's nothing worse for an Italian to try to roll up broken spaghetti. So just drop your penne in there, and I know that this looks like, well, it's never gonna work. It will, because once you stir the pasta around, just you would with rice, and you get that coating of all those beautiful flavors onto each and every single penna, which is singular for penne. Then you add your passata, chopped tin tomatoes, whatever you've got on hand, and see how almost every single penne is submerged. Now to further that, I'm gonna add some water. The penne will take about 8-9 minutes to cook. In that time, they will absorb all the sauce. One last cooking hack to get even more flavor is, if you've got one on hand, to chuck in a Parmesan rind or a pecorino rind, which I always tend to have in the fridge. And that's another salty little bomb. Just stir it around and keep an eye on it. And that's me done for the next 7 or 8 minutes.
Awesome. Well, while you're doing that, I'm going to make a sticky, spicy sauce for my wings, because I do find with these baked wings, they're crispy, but I feel like they need a sauce on them as well, because they don't have the same kind of golden color as a fried chicken wing. So
yes.
I want to make them quite tangy rather than too sweet. That's just my preference. So I've got some vinegar.
I like the sound of tangy.
And I'm also using Thai hot chili sauce or sriracha sauce. So this is the Thai version, which is a lot tangier, a lot lighter in color and fresher than the American sriracha version. But whatever you've got to hand, you know, any kind of hot sauce that you love, even if it's not an Asian hot sauce, you could use for this recipe. And then I do want a little bit of sweetness, so I'm going to add some honey. Okay, now I want some char siu sauce as well. Now this is like a Chinese barbecue sauce. You can find it in the Asian section, and it just adds like an extra spiced element to the sauce. And then I just want some brown sugar, some soy sauce, and some grated garlic.
Oh, that's a good idea to use the cheese grater.
Oh yeah, because then you don't have to like wash up the chopping board.
I know, right?
This is tasting good, but you know what? It's not spicy enough for us, Silvia. I'm gonna get us some chili powder, because I know you love the chili too.
Yes, I was always a big fan, but I think after a few days in the kitchen with you, I've grown even more and more addicted to the flavor.
Whenever I'm making these sort of sticky sauces, one of the things I'm looking for is the bubbles start to get bigger as the sugar caramelizes, and that's when you know that you're starting to get the really good, beautiful texture and flavor. See, now we're getting that.
I can smell that.
Yeah. So and now you can smell the vinegar, and that's the sort of texture we're looking for.
Let me stick my finger in.
Yeah, we're good now.
Ooh! You know you're alive.
Yeah.
Now let's have a look at the pasta. See how?
Smells really good.
Yes, and you can tell that it's basically cooked through. I think at this point, what I want to do is get rid of the garlic, because it's done its job. I mean, some people love to eat it in the sauce, and you're more than welcome to leave it there. I'm just gonna put it on the side, and the same thing for that cheese rind that we chucked in there.
Nice.
That's done its job. It looks like it's been cooking for a lot longer.
It really
it's
does.
Quite a rich sauce.
So surprised. When you first said one pot pasta, I had all these horrible images in my mind.
Good.
Looks amazing.
She doesn't trust me. Now I'm gonna taste the salt.
I do trust you.
And see how we're going.
I reckon even just a tiny pinch.
Tiny pinch.
Not much. It
No.
really doesn't need much. It's got so much flavour.
Okay, I'm ready to turn this off now and give it a nice stir with the spoon to make sure that we release even more starch. Okay, so at this point, we're just gonna be plating up, okay?
Look at how amazing that. I was so unconvinced. I'm so convinced now. Sold.
There we go. Okay, a little bit of parsley on top. I'm just gonna add a little bit of freshly ground black pepper. You could add chili flakes to this. I mean, it's not the traditional recipe, but it's gonna taste delicious.
You know I'm gonna put chili flakes on.
I know. And you could even add a little bit of pecorino. Try to get a bit of everything, like a bit of the olive, a bit of the caper, and this beautiful sugo.
I love the salty olives and the capers and the anchovies. So good.
And this can be like a super easy hump day recipe that you can do in really no time at all.
Took like 10 minutes. That's
yeah,
crazy.
I know.
So these are looking very
goodness.
crispy and crunchy.
You can tell just by looking at them that they are crispy.
I know, it's great.
Oh my
isn't it?
gosh!
Yeah.
That's really amazing.
No oil, nothing. So now all that's left to do is get them coated in that sticky, spicy
You just
sauce.
plonk them in the wok.
That's right. I'm just gonna, they're gonna get all
Sticky and delicious.
sticky and delicious. Just turn the heat back on that sauce a little bit too, so that
okay.
they get nice and hot. And so this is exactly what you want. You want the sauce to dry up, so it's just literally just stuck to each one of those.
And then you eat those with your
pieces.
fingers, right?
You do. And just a few sesame seeds, just because, you know, it's nice and pretty.
It's nice and pretty, but
And there you go.
it will also taste divine. Can I just go in?
I have lots of napkins.
Good. Oh, wow.
We're even trying to get someone. Oh,
No!
I did get some. Look.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
Now, do you have a hack to get that off?